Hi everybody, it's Heidi here. Let me just get you on my, oh, where are we? Oops, a daisy. Oh, where are we? Oh, here we go. Hi everybody. Super. Okay, now I can see everybody. Oops, I can see. Oh, hello Marlis. Let me get this sound sorted. Right, okay. Oh, hi Sean. Okay, today we're going to be doing a beaded wreath. I think you can see it just behind me, up here. So this little thing here. We did this about 5 years ago for a beading magazine. And every year we bring it out into the shop and everybody loves it. The only downfall being that the beads that I used on it were, some of them are quite heavy beads, and it worked out quite expensive for me to do it because I used a lot of glass beads and pearl beads and things like that, and they were very heavy. So we decided to do this and show you how to do this, but also we've bundled together some beautiful beads in lilacs and purples, so similar to these colours, but in acrylics. We've also got some pearls in there, and we've also got some glass and also some silver beads as well. So I'll show you that in just a second. So let me swivel. So this is the kit here, and excuse my terrible camera work. Donna's put the kit together and it's fantastic. I love the beads in it, just to make life a little bit easier for you. And I'm sure that in your bead kits you've got lots of colours of purples, silvers and things like that, so you can add to it. And then when you've made your beaded wreath, you're going to have beads left over, so you can use them to make necklaces, bracelets, etc. So it won't go to waste. Okay, the other thing I've just added to my pieces is I've added some little seed beads here, so size 11 seed beads in a purple and a silver. Okay, so that's just in case some of the holes are too big. I can use that on the end of the pin. Okay, now the two pins I'm using are long seamstress pins, so the ones that you pin up hems with and things like that, and also these shorter ones which are sequin pins, which we sell both of them. Okay, and I routed through my Christmas bits and bobs, and I know everybody has bits and bobs from Christmas. I save things off the front of my crackers and things like that to use next year. So I found this lovely little snowflake. It hasn't got any holes on it, but I can use wire to attach it to my wreath. And I also found a little silver reindeer, and I think we've got these in antique brass, which is quite nice as well. So I've put those to one side on my bead mat. Right, so I'm going to turn, before I do, I'll just show you what the basic thing is. Okay, so the wreath base is polystyrene. Okay, it's 21.5 centimetres diameter. And we are getting some in that are slightly smaller. They're about 17 centimetres. So if you want to do a slightly smaller one with not so many beads, you can do a smaller one. So we are getting those ones in. So the first thing you need to do is I bought, you can either paint or put ribbon on your wreath. So I bought 3 meters of this beautiful silk ribbon, double-sided silk ribbon. And I've still got some left over, so I've got some here, that's out of the 3 meters. I didn't glue anything, so you can see just here that I wrapped around and then secured it. These are just little sequin pins, and when I started it off, I pinned it to the back of the wreath and then started winding it round, and then that's how I secured the end. I just fold the end over so it's not got any frayed bits. And this will be at the back of my wreath, so that's what you'll see. Okay, and it just means that if you do have gaps between your beads, you're not gonna you're not going to have white polystyrene showing through. So again, you can paint it yourself if you want to. Okay, so before we start putting beads in, you do want to make a loop for your wreath to hold from. So I'm just going to put this down, and I'm going to switch camera over to my bead mat. I hope you can see. Okay, so I've got my wreath, and I've got a length of ribbon. It's kind of the same colour, but it's not quite, so, but it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the ribbon through my wreath, and I'm using the bit where I'll show you from the back. Okay, so this is where I've got the pins, okay, and that's the back of my, and I'm just going to tie a knot at the top there, so it's just wrapped round. Okay, so you can see the front of it there, and I've got this hanging from the top. So there's your loop made at the top. I'll just put another little, oops, another little loop, knot in it, sorry. My fingers are not working. Oops-a-daisy. Okay, and you can make it as long or as short as you want to. I don't like making them too long, to be honest. So you can see that's the back, and this is the front bit. Okay, and just to keep it in place on the back, I'm just going to grab a couple of sequin pins and pop those in. That one's a little bit blunt. Let's do another one. Now, it's up to you. I use a PVA glue with my pins just so that I can use it again year after year. But you don't have to. If you want to reuse your beads after Christmas, you can take all the beads off at the end of it, and you can reuse them. So if you don't want to, don't want to glue them down, you don't have to. I'm not going to glue mine today purely because I want to be able to put my beads back into this lovely kit. So we have our wreath with our loop there, and I've rooted through my box upstairs, and I found some silver sort of, I don't know what this is called, organza-y type ribbon, and I've still got some of my thick ribbon left over, and I'm going to make some loops with this, and I've got some 0.7 wire. So let me move that for a second. So you can see what I've done is folded it over itself, and then I've got some 0.71 wire, and I'm just going to wrap it around the middle of this. So I'm going to squish my ribbon up. So let's get that nice and tight. And just twist it round. And with your excess wire, just twist it round itself so it makes it a little bit stronger to poke in, and snip your ends off with some cutters and do it on a diagonal so that you've got enough there and you've got a sharp enough point. Let's trim that. Okay, and you've got a little point there, you can see, that I can stick it into my wreath. Now, again, it's up to you where you want to put your ribbon. You can put it to the side, you can put it at the bottom, you can also put it at the top. So I'm going to pull mine out a bit so it's pull my spreads it out a bit. So you're literally just pulling the folds apart. If I can get my fingers around it. I need some nails, guys. So I'm going to lend me some. Okay, so we've pulled our ribbon out and I'm going to put it just to the side here. You might need to use a bit of force with this. Right, what I am going to do, it's a bit tough to get through the ribbon here. So I've made a hole through the ribbon just so that it can get into the polystyrene. That's great. Now you can see I've got this awful bit here, and I think that's where I'm going to put my little snowflake on there. So again, I'm going to get some more wire because this thing hasn't got any holes on it. So I'm just going to push my wire daisy, so make it have some legs at the back. And then if you want to, you can use a hot glue gun and just put a little gem over the top of that little bit of wire, but it isn't actually that visible. So, okay, I'm just twisting it off, a bit like if any of you have done tiaras and things like that, or vines, very similar to that. So, got a long stalk on it, and I'm just going to trim off the ends. And I'm going to see if I can poke it in at an angle there. And then bring it forward. Oh, and I've just broke one of the arms on it. Never mind. Okay, so we've got our bow there. Now, if I wanted to, I can add some silver onto there with the organza. I just think it's quite nice like that, guys. Okay, so we've got that sorted. So now we can start with our beads. So we've got our beads on the mat. And if they have too big a hole, I have sorted out from my stash here, and I've got these little tiny weeny little seed beads in the pots, but I've also got, I went in my stash of silver beads, and I've got these little tiny weeny ones that were sitting in my box. So I'm going to use some of those if the beads if they've got a big hole and they might fall off. So let's take a pin. So the sequin pins are good for the small beads. So the little bicones and the balls, you can use the sequin pins for those. And I'm going to pop on a little seed bead first. Use your mat to help you pick them up because otherwise it's really fiddly. So you can see I've got a little seed bead and my bead. Now at this point, if I was going to be gluing it, I would just dip it into my glue and just tiny weeny little bit of glue. So I'm going to start, oops, that wasn't good, was it? My fingers aren't working. So I'm going to start just at the side of this bow because I'm not going to put a load of beads underneath it because that would be a waste. Okay, so I've just put it, you can just see there. Let's put something bigger on. So I'm going to take a seamstress pin. I've put a little silver ball on it. And you can actually make it a little bit taller if you want to with not the sequin pins, the seamstress pins, sorry. So you can make them higher and lower depending on which you prefer. So you can see we've got one that's lower down and one that's higher. Okay, so let's do some more. So I'm going to take a silver bead with a purple bead and pop it on. And literally this is really, really therapeutic. You can sit for ages. You can do it whilst, if you've got a TV table, you know, a little TV dinner table, you can have this spread out on your mat and sit and watch TV whilst you're doing it. You just dip in your little glue, and so you don't need to make a load of mess. You can just have these in little containers in front of you. Let's take a sequin pin, and I'm just going to pick up a little tiny purple, oops, seed bead. And if you wanted to, you can also add in sequins as well. So you can see I'm starting to get some build up there. I'll have to glue that back in, but you can see. Okay. And it does take a while to build up. So, you know, start a bit earlier than normal, like you would for your Christmas stuff, obviously, because it's going to take you a little while. But what a wonderful gift to give to somebody. I mean, if they, it doesn't have to be purple, you know, you can do it if they have a particular colour that they enjoy and they like having for Christmas, and you know what that colour is, or you're just going to make one, to put this in your living room or even your bedroom. You could, if you don't put Christmas ornaments on it, if you put you know, a flower on there instead or something like that, you can leave it up all year round. It would be beautiful. So just going to, let's see, what have we got? What have we not put on? Let's put on one of the, oops, a daisy, a white one with a purple one underneath. So you can see I'm getting different heights in here. You see. I don't know whether you can see. There you go. Okay, and there's my little snowflake. Okay, so carry on building up. And what I might do with this is, obviously I've got my bow at the top there, or just to the side I should say, because that's where we're hanging it from. Okay, I might put my little reindeer down the bottom here as well, so that would take up some more of my space. So he's got little holes in him here, so I could use my pins there we go. So he's got little holes. If they haven't got holes, the things that you want, do use your wire, you know, to wrap round. So can you see he's got little holes on his back, and I'm just using the sequin pins to secure him. And it doesn't look too bad because they're silver, they kind of hide. So you can see. Right, let's lift up a bit. Okay, so you can see this is the way it's going to hang around here. Oops, daisy. So that's what it would look like. So I'm going to carry on with some more pins. And these little silver beads that I'm using, Donna has a massive selection in the shop of all little tiny filler beads, silver filler beads. And they make a massive, you know, there's bigger ones as well. You don't have to go for the tiny weeny ones. They have bigger sizes as well in there, but they're most unusual. And when you go through your bead stash, you can add in, so we have got, I've not got any out on my mats, but we have got these beautiful, let me put that down for a minute. We have got these beautiful strands of beads in the kit. So you've got glass rounds, these beautiful square cubes in glass, which are purple. I'll hold it against my t-shirt and then you can see. And then we've got beautiful pearls. So we've got two lots in white in two different sizes, and then a purple and a lilac, which is beautiful. I don't know if you can see the colours there. So they are absolutely stunning. And we've also got a larger, some silver, and these are silver metal beads, but they're nice and light as well. So you have got bigger silver ones there, and you can add those in. And then, as I say, if you've got really unusual purple beads at home, you know, you might have some felt beads, you might have some shell. So, I mean, I know if I went through my box, I would have quite a few different sorts of purple and lilac beads that I could mix in with this if I needed to. And that's all you need to do, just keep adding to it. Okay, another little seed bead needed because it's falling through. So as I say, you can use the little silver beads that I've got from my stash, or you can use little seed beads. You can use size 8s or size 11s to stop your beads coming off the head pins, particularly these little sequin pins, because they've got a tiny weeny little head. But you could, like I say, use a sequin, and you could put a sequin on top of a bead to secure it. You can also use bead caps as well. We've got some beautiful decorated fancy bead caps as well. So there's lots and lots and lots of options to do it with. And as I say, it's worth the hassle. Now then, I forgot to put a little small one on there, so I need to grab a little silver one there. And this is the nice thing about it. Even if you're putting glue on these, if you feel you've put it in the wrong place, you can just pull it back out again and add another one. Yes, who's that? Let's see, Lynn. Yes, it's good for using up all of the odd beads. So if you've got 3 of something or 1 of something, you can just pop those in. And I tend to, the random ones, I tend to put like dotted over, and then obviously fill it with the ones that you've got a lot more of. So, yeah. Fantastic. The pins are listed, so that's it. Donna's on there, she said the pins are all listed. So as I say, I haven't got the box for this one, but it's a container like this with a pink base, and they are seamstress pins, so they're a lot longer. You can see the difference between, so if I hold it, ouch, if I hold it like that, and the sequin pin, so you can see the difference. So the sequin pin's small and the seamstress ones are larger, but you can use both of them. So there you go, and that's how it's done. I've also got another one. Last year people wanted to know how to do it, so I did a demonstration then, and I've got one with tartan ribbon on, and I'm doing all green and red on it. So you can do whatever colour you want, and I'm quite excited to get hold of one of the small ones. I did have one, so one of the 17.5 centimetre ones, maybe a bit more ideal for gift ones, but you can do this size as well. I mean, the polystyrene rings are so cheap, it's fantastic. And like I say, because if you don't glue anything to them, you can remove all of this, including the ribbon, and reuse your polystyrene ring if you want to, and reuse your ribbon. Because these pins are so thin, they don't mark the ribbon as badly as you think, unless you poke things in like I did with my snowflake. But yes, baubles are fantastic. Yes, Lynn. Yeah, I did some baubles with, it looks stunning. I did it with, I had a little punch that punched out snowflakes. So it was a little tiny weeny one about so big. And then I put little tiny beads on top of it, crystals, and put that all over a white bauble, and it looked absolutely stunning. So yes, with the baubles, it's better to paint them first, unless you're wanting white. So yes, fantastic. So as I say, these are on the website, the polystyrene rings, ribbon and stuff. I think you're better off going in store so you can choose what colours you want. And of course the lovely bead kits, £20, they should be much more than that. So they are such good value for money. and I hope you enjoyed yourself. Don't forget the wire I used was 0.71, and I shall see you again in 2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks on Wednesday. They really are a lovely talking point at Christmas. Yes, Marlis, sorry. Yeah, I mean, everybody notices the one we put up in the shop, and everybody says, oh, that's absolutely beautiful. So if you want people to admire your work, I'm not sure whether we're going to be able to have people coming into our houses, but how nice if we can't have people coming round to visit us at Christmas, how nice to give them a wreath at Christmas instead. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you saw what you needed to see to make your wreath. Good luck with it, and have a load of fun. It's really nice and therapeutic. Thank you, everyone. Bye.